Okay. You still there, Kelsey?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So first, I just want to get a sense of your experience, your teaching experience, and thoughts on the profession. So first, can you start by just telling me about your pathway into teaching?
Sure. My education as well, or just starting with my first job?
I think whatever you want to kind of tell, how you ended up teaching, how you ended up where you're at,
Okay.
Yeah.
So I went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and I actually majored in human development and family studies with a concentration in child development. So I knew that in some capacity I wanted to work with kids because that's something that I had always loved. Interestingly enough, I didn't think I wanted to be a teacher. My mom was a teacher. I feel really bad saying this, but I, in the past, would say I don't want to just be a teacher. I feel like I do more, and I think a lot of people don't really understand what it means to be a teacher, but they think they do because we've all had them. So I thought, I don't want to teach the same lesson over and over all day. I thought that's all teachers really did. And I actually wanted to be a child life specialist, which is someone that works with kids in hospitals, and, just volunteering, and didn't like it. And then I did some more volunteering work just around the community, and found that I was really passionate about the teacher-student connection, and I loved it, and I was really good at it. And so right after college, I got my master's at Northwestern, and through Northwestern, I student taught in a first grade suburban classroom, and I liked that because I had grown up in the suburbs of Chicago, and so it was what's familiar to me. So I graduated and honestly was looking for any kind of job that anyone would give me. I didn't know if I wanted to do suburban or urban. I knew suburban because that's what I had grown up in, but honestly all the suburban jobs that I interviewed for, they said in one way or another, you need more experience. And after emailing, I'm not exaggerating, probably 500 principals and applying online and sending my resume, I emailed the school I'm currently at, and they said, why don't you come in for an interview? And the interview was 20 minutes, and they called me on my way home, and I got the job. And what I think is really interesting is I taught first grade, so when I went in, I thought I wanted to work with little guys, and the job they offered me was a sixth grade science position.
Wow.
And I took it because I really liked the administration, but I was like, sixth grade science, this is going to be awful, everyone hates middle schoolers. It was earth science, it was rock, so I was like, oh God, this is going to be so boring. And it actually turned out just to be the perfect place for me. So I'm currently 7th and 8th grade math. And I absolutely love the age group that I work with, and the content of math as well. So I'm really happy with where I ended up.
That's great. So you mentioned that you had lived in the suburbs before, and that now, you're working more in the city. Do you live in the same neighborhood where your school is situated, or where most of your students live?
I do not.
Okay. And can you tell me a little bit about the student population that you work with currently?
Yep. So it's about 95% Hispanic, some African American, some Arabic, and we are free breakfast, free lunch school. I think our poverty level is at 93% right now.
Okay. And then can you tell me a little bit more about the school that you work in? So what are your colleagues like, administrators, parents and families, and what has your experience been like so far?
That's an interesting question. And I say that because our goal as a school right now is trying to increase teacher trust. I think so what's weird is, like you said, I've been teaching for 7 years, but I feel like I still am kind of figuring out how to do my job and how the politics of my school works. And I think that is my least favorite part. of teaching and something that I didn't realize would be such a big part when my favorite part is when I close the door and I get to do with my kids. And my least favorite part is dealing with all the politics. So, I would say definitely a leader at my school. One, because I take part in a lot of different opportunities outside of my classroom. So I am also what's called a framework specialist. The framework is how EPS teachers are evaluated. And so I've been with this for 5 years now. And I'm actually in leadership roles within that. So my principal knows that I know the framework well. I make PD and I lead PD. So I need a lot of PD within our school. So I really like that. However, I feel like from a staff perspective, I think it's probably annoying to be like, oh, there's Kelsey, the framework specialist. There's Kelsey who's trying to push this PD that she made, or here's Kelsey emailing out this opportunity. And I do it not, trying to share the wealth and make people aware of opportunities they might not be aware of, but I think that some people take it as oh, she thinks she's better because she's involved in things that we're not.
Yeah.
And I think that's the weird thing when you're taught by your colleagues, and I think that's something that our school's struggling with, where we have a lot of great teachers doing a lot of great things, but it's not really communicated across school. I think it's people who are friends share things and people who are positive colleagues share things, but otherwise everyone's pretty much on their own. And if you reach out, you can get the support, but if you don't, I think it's really easy at my school to just drown because you feel like no one's helping you. Our admin, so I am in a constant debate of, do I want to make a change to another school or not? And I've actually, done some interviewing more in other cities, and I've turned the job down for various reasons. But what really keeps me at my job is my administration trusts me and lets me do whatever I want. And it's taken some time to earn that trust, but I don't think you find that at every school. And so that's knowing that I have full ownership of whatever I'm teaching, and my teacher, I know if I were to say, I want to do something different, my principal would say great, do it. And I really like having that flexibility and not feel like someone's constantly, watching over me 24/7. So that is the reason that I stay. I mean, outside of loving my kids, but I feel like professionally, the only thing though that I mention when I go to job interviews is that I am the one who's pushing me professionally and no one else is. So I think definitely in a year or two that's going to kind of cap where I'm going to need someone else to help me move more professionally. But for now, I feel like I can find those opportunities on my own.
Okay, great. And so you've been in your same school for the 7 years that you've taught. Is that correct?
I have. Let me quickly explain my first year because it was very confusing. So like I said, I was offered the 6th grade science position. I was there for 40 days, and then CPS has a rule, I think it's the same that they still have now, where it's basically they re-examine all the numbers of the school, and that year it had a drastic drop in enrollment, and so basically they lost the funding for a position, and I was the last hired, so I was the one to be let go. It was like the end of October, so what I did was I became a cadre sub, which is, so this is 2011. Basically, they called me every morning at 6 a.m. and said, this is what school you're going to, this is what time you have to be there, this is where it is. And I did that for 6 weeks. And it was the hardest 6 weeks of my entire life because more so just not going up my everyday, but the reason I went into teaching was because of those relationships with kids, and that's why you don't get that stuff, and that's why you are so poorly mistreated as a sub, because the kids don't know you and they don't care. And so I was literally like